a blessing to be together with you all. We start, as always, with a question that comes in from our family joining us from all over the world. Since they can't be here physically, they send in questions through email and websites and social media and whatnot. So we start with one of theirs in honor of the fact that they are not able to be on the banks of Ganga. And then we open it to any question that anyone here has. And there's a microphone right here in the center, so feel free to come to the microphone, share your name, share where you're from, and your question. I'm doing sadhana, but I still feel very aggressive when I see wrong things before me. Why does everything still trigger me so much? We get triggered for a lot of reasons. And on the one hand, sadhana is the answer to everything. Whatever you're suffering from, meditate more. And yet, there are some triggers that, some things in addition to sadhana can help. So, for example, one of the reasons that we get triggered is due to wounds that we have, frequently from early childhood times, that haven't yet been healed, that we haven't dealt with. And so you'll see situations where, for example, 10 people are in a room or at a dining table, and one person says something, and out of the 10 people, 1 or 2 of them are totally triggered, like, oh my God, I can't believe that. They can't eat their food, they're worked up, like, who does that person think they are? A couple of them didn't even notice, they're like, huh, what, who said what? And the rest of them feel like, yeah, we heard it, it was kind of inappropriate, it was not so sensitive, but like, get on with it, it's okay. And it's very similar to physical immunity. 10 people in a room, 1 person's sick, sneezes, coughs. Out of that, you're going to end up with, 1 or 2 who end up with a flu that knocks them out for 2 weeks. 1 or 2 to whom nothing happens, like there never was a sneeze at all. And, a few in the middle who feel like they're fighting something off for a couple of days, but they're fine. Based on our physical immunities. And we know how many different things go into our physical immunities. How well did we sleep the night before? Have we had fresh air, sunshine? Are we hydrated? Like, how's our nutrient level? How's our mental health? So much goes into our immunity. Are we struggling from something? Are we immunocompromised? In the same way, emotionally, there are things that make us prone to being triggered by certain things. Until and unless we deal with them, especially if they are early life, childhood, trauma, issues, stuff that we went through that hit us on really deep levels. A lot of times that stuff has to be worked with psychologically, not just meditated away. And this is where you end up in so many situations with people who have really deep, meaningful, powerful spiritual experiences, and yet, can't have a normal relationship, not just a romantic relationship, but even a normal friendship, or because they haven't done that work. And sadly, if we've got deep injuries inside us, occasionally you get really lucky, but usually we still have to do the emotional and psychological work. That the meditation itself isn't going to necessarily make it go away. Now, for those of us who did a lot of emotional and psychological work, the meditation and spiritual practice becomes that which ultimately frees us, which ultimately takes us out of simply understanding the problem into actually being free of it. But if you've never done that work, and you've just done the spiritual, the meditation, the japa, the prayers, if you don't have serious psychological complexes, neuroses, issues, it's enough. But if you're like so many of us, you actually need more. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means, this particular type of thing keeps triggering me. Let me look at why. And then let me deal with that. Let me heal that so that I'm no longer triggered. But the other aspect is sometimes we get a lot of spiritual arrogance. And the meditation that we do sometimes, in addition to the beautiful internal experiences we have, can give us this sense of spiritual arrogance, of I'm so far beyond these people. And then in a paradoxical way, we find ourselves more irritated and more triggered by people who are not what we've deemed to be spiritual enough. And that's a really good sign that you need more spiritual work. It's a really good sign that, yes, you may have had some great meditation experiences. Yes, you may have had some powerful realizations. But if there's ego in you around that, if there's arrogance in you around that, if doing your meditation makes you less tolerant of people who don't meditate, it means meditate more. It is something that we see in so much of the world. Ex-smokers are the ones who are the worst to people who are still smoking. Anybody who has given up a bad habit, whatever it may be, are the ones who seem the least tolerant of those who still have the habit. And so spiritually, as you start getting up in the morning, you start meditating, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. 7 o'clock in the morning I called him and he was still asleep. Doesn't he know? Doesn't he know we've got spiritual places to go? And we get really judgmental. We get triggered and we get really judgmental. And it's just something to be aware of. It's all your internal process. Just watch it, notice it. Look at how arrogant my spirituality has made me. And you see it. You see it in spiritual circles. Oh my God, I'm so much more humble than she is. Right? And if you can laugh at it, it's great, because it's just the human condition revealing itself. It's just yes, you've had darshan of the divine, you've had a powerful spiritual experience, and here you are still human. And isn't that fun? And then you go deeper. And every time you have that thought of, I'm so much more humble than this person is, or I'm so much more spiritual than that person is, or you just, I just giggle at myself. I'm like, wow. Like the layers of the human psyche. And you just notice it. You get curious about it. And you don't let it make you stuck, but you also don't give in to believing it. And it just sends you deeper and deeper into meditation. So based on what it is that's triggering you, either you need to just meditate more, or you need to actually do some psychological work. But in both cases, the work is in you, not in how you can fix the people around you. Our spiritual work is always inside. Yeah, great question to start with. Other questions? Yes, of course, please, come. And just share your name and where you're from first.
Hi, ma'am. My name is Shrazal Mishra, and I'm from Lucknow. And
You're from?
I'm from Lucknow,
Wonderful.
Uttar Pradesh. And he's my friend Richard. He's a gay activist, a very famous gay activist from America. And the question I'm going to ask today, probably no one has asked it before. This question is not related to any god or religion, but is related to those peoples who are still seen as a criminal in India.
I'm sorry, those people who are?
I'm going to ask questions for those peoples who still, many people seen them criminals, like a criminals in India.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is that I am gay, and I told this to my family. So my mom and dad want me to become normal. Even my dad beats me. My mom gives me slaps, a lot of things, a lot of torture. They take me to the doctors. Even they thought to give me electric shocks also, but the doctor said that it's not a disease. It's not something that you can change. So still my mom want me to change. Even my father says that just go and die. And a lot of things. So I tried a lot to give my best to change as a treatment, but I'm not able to do it. How do I explain to mom that being gay is not a disease, and people also bother a lot. They harassed a lot. I feel very lonely. No one want to become my friend also. I don't even have a single friend. This is my first friend who I have in my life. And what would you like to say to today's generation so that they can accept?
Would you come sit here with me? First of all, can we have a round of applause for his courage? Hey, I need one also. Thanks. So, thank you. So first of all, let's start with facts and then get into experience. What did you say your name is? Srichand. Okay. So first of all, just to assure you, as you already know, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. There is everything right about you. And part of the beauty of creation is diversity and variety. And like every flower in a garden is different, so are all human beings different. And it's what makes us so rich as a creation. Who would want every single flower to be the same? Who would want every single fruit to be the same? Sadly, we seem as a species to deem some differences okay, like you have dark hair, I have lighter hair, she has even lighter hair. We seem to deem some differences okay and some differences not okay. And we are at a low level of our human evolution in which we deem a difference in our hair color okay, but a difference in our sexual orientation not okay. But we are evolving, slowly, not nearly quickly enough, not nearly fully enough, but we are at least moving in the right direction. To be in a situation where people you love wish you were different is one of the greatest challenges and causes of suffering. And as people who love people, one of the greatest gifts we can give them, whether they are our children, whether they are our siblings, whether they are our friends, whether they are people in our community, is to love people as they are. Whether they look different, whether they speak different, whether they act different, whatever it may be. But to honor and celebrate the truth of each person. Sadly, sometimes certain people's differences trigger us inside. And sex seems to be just one of those topics. And people tend to be triggered by it. And so they tend to have very narrow views of what's okay and what's not okay. And I pray that your parents evolve and grow and open to see that as you are is exactly the way that God has made you, and that God does not make mistakes. And to accept the fullness and the beauty and the perfection of you. And if they don't, then you join a very large group of people around the world, not only people who are anything other than heterosexual, but people who have chosen different jobs, different walks of life, people who have made 100 different decisions that their families do not approve of, who are living in a way in which their families don't approve of them. And it's not an ideal situation, but it's a situation in which you can still not only survive, but thrive. Because there is a global family for you. I mean, here we have right in front of you, before your eyes, in human form, and across the world, people who you haven't even met yet, who will be there to honor you and celebrate you and support you. And that doesn't take away, I know, the sting, the very, very, very deep sting of having our own parents not see us. And again, I pray for them and I pray for you, that they can see you. Because I am sure, as we look out just at this group of maybe 100-ish people here, that many, many people were not seen fully by their parents. Whether in the gifts that they bring to the world, whether in their uniqueness, whether in their sexual orientation, whether in a dozen other ways. Whether just because our parents were too busy to see us, or too neurotic to see us, or too wrapped up in their own issues to see us. And not being seen hurts so much. And so for them and for you, I pray that they can see you. But I also want to assure you that just because they can't see you doesn't mean that you exist less, and it doesn't mean that you are not visible. It just means that they don't yet have the vision to be able to see. And you may end up having to have others who can see you and to see yourself. Okay?
This is where my family, where my moms are.
Yes, I know.
We are getting dinner together.
I know.
Now I left my family and I'm living in Delhi and doing such delivery boy job. And where I go to for delivery, they also say, "You came here for delivery? I'm not taking your order." And then the boss, they shout at me.
Yeah, you've walked into a karmic package with a lot of challenges and with a lot of possibility of transformation and of sharing with so many. I mean, just this evening, I know that you sitting here is inspiring so many people in that courage, and in that courage to be yourself and to see that. And may you inspire people wherever you go to see the soul, to see spirit, to see consciousness, to see divinity, to see perfection, and not to wish that everybody lived according to our agenda. Okay? But there is nothing wrong in you, I promise you. I promise you. 100%, 200%. God did not fall asleep. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Other questions? Yeah, please come.
Hi, my name is Shini. I'm coming from Malaysia.
Can you come a little closer to the mic? Thank
Sure.
you.
My name is Shini. Coming from Malaysia. Something I want to ask about is grief. I lost my older brother about 5 years ago. But during the time that we didn't know that we were going to lose him, when he had some health conditions and stuff, I was very angry at him that he left the hospital and he wanted to come back and spend time with my mom. So on his last days, I didn't even get a chance to talk to him.
Yeah.
And I carry this with me. I carry this with me a lot. And coming here was one of the reasons to let this feeling go away and let go of the anger, let go of the grief. But I don't seem to be able to do it. So.
Okay. Yeah. So anger is something that you definitely want to be able to let go of, and I'll come back to that. Grief, especially over the loss of someone that close to us like a brother, I don't think we ever let it go. But who we are grows and evolves to include the grief. So don't think about grief as something to somehow exorcise out of you and then you will be free of it. I believe from my own personal experiences and what I've seen with others is that grief shapes us. It changes us. There's a period of time, hopefully not too long, in which we feel totally paralyzed. We cannot move. The world stops. We're unable to function. And then slowly, what happens is the grief doesn't disappear, but we sort of come back to life around it. And it begins slowly. We notice a sunrise. We notice some nice music. We find ourselves laughing again at a joke or something we see, and we realize, oh my God, I haven't laughed in weeks or months. Slowly, just these isolated incidents start kind of repopulating our life of, oh, the sun still rises and it's still beautiful, and oh yeah, I still really love that song and it makes me smile, and oh yeah, that was a funny joke and I laughed. And my grief is still here. It hasn't gone anywhere. It just no longer is debilitating me. It's no longer the only thing in me. The rest of me comes back. It's like for a while the grief just takes over everything. And then slowly, the rest of you starts to come back to life, but the grief is still there. It's just no longer the exclusive thing of you. And then slowly, you start to kind of rebuild self around the grief. So don't think about letting go of grief. Just allow yourself to notice, to experience moments in which there is something in addition to the grief. Can you watch Ganga and feel a smile arise in your being? Can you watch the sunset? Can you feed a child? Can you feed a cow? Can you have a moment of connection to life, to presence, to connection? And then just slowly start stringing these moments together. And you'll find, oh, I'm still here. Even though when I think about the one I lost, I'm still incredibly upset. It's not like I no longer miss him. It's just that I'm no longer paralyzed. And that's what's going to shift. The anger, though, that's definitely something to let go, because the anger says something happened that shouldn't have happened. I was cheated. I was betrayed. I was lied to. Like there is a perpetrator of wrongdoing that I am the victim of. That's what anger says. And sometimes it's anger at the loved one. How dare you keep smoking, not wear your seatbelt, be so reckless, whatever it was that the person did that theoretically led to their death. Or it's anger at God, like, how dare you? I'm a good person, he or she was a good person. Like, what kind of world order is this? None of that anger is helpful. It actually prevents us from healing the grief because it diverts our attention from the real experience, which is pain and sadness and grief. And anger is just kind of the defense mechanism. Be angry than grief-stricken. It's easier to yell or, give God the silent treatment than it is to deal with the pain that we feel. So let the anger go. Recognize that there was not a colossal injustice done to you. That it's nobody's fault. That it just is. And that if you believe in the law of karma and you believe in destiny and you believe in this whole cycle, that it not only is, but it is exactly as it needed to be in this law of nature. And then allow yourself to simply have your response to this expression of the law of nature, which is grief. But don't give yourself for too long. I mean, anger is definitely a part of the grief cycle. The fact that it's there temporarily is fine, but don't hold on to the anger for too long because it prevents you from moving through the rest of the process. Good. Yeah, of course. Any other questions? Yeah, we'll take this as our last question tonight.
Sorry, it's a follow-up question from grief, actually.
Okay.
I'm Namrita, I'm from Malaysia as well. So I think you mentioned something about not worrying about letting it go, like it stays, always. I think I've moved past that anger stage, but the pain comes, it doesn't go away.
Yeah.
It triggers in very specific moments. So, to give you the context, I lost my dad when I was 13. It's been about 15 years now. It hasn't gotten any easier.
And isn't that beautiful?
But no.
Bear with me. I don't mean on the most superficial level of life. I mean on the deep level of richness. Isn't it beautiful how much you still love him? Isn't it beautiful how things will still remind you of him? Your life is not paralyzed. As you said, you're moving through it. You've moved on. We don't have the time right now, but if we did and we went through all of what's happened over the last 10 or 15 years, we'd see so much blossoming growth, joy, love, achievement on so many levels. And there's still the sadness. And to me that's beautiful because I see our human existence and the spectrum of the emotions that we feel, the spectrum of the experience that we call the human experience. I see it as beautiful. On the highest spiritual level, yes, we are supposed to have vairagya, detachment, and not be impacted too much by the ups or the downs, the pain or the pleasure, the success or the failure, the gain or the loss. And for some of us, that's going to be a phase that we enter into in this particular lifetime. That we've spent enough lifetimes in the vicissitudes, the ups and the downs, the richness of the different aspects of the human experience. And for some of us, that'll be something that we experience in a later lifetime. And for right now, here we are, in the depths, in the throes of the human experience. And as long as you can see it as that, like, wow, look at this heart that you've been given, that all of these years later, you start to talk about him and you cry. Like, how beautiful is that? There's nothing wrong with that. God did not create hearts so that they only felt like this much. We've been given hearts that feel like this much. And at some point, this lifetime, a later lifetime, at some point in the evolution of your soul's journey, it will decide, enough. I've done the ups and downs. I've done the super, super attached love, like I can't live without you. And I've done the agonizing grief at the loss. And I'm done. And that'll also be perfect. And this is also perfect. Because you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. And suppressing it, repressing it, denying it, pushing it away, which I have to imagine you've tried over the years, it doesn't work.
Sorry, I have one continuous question to that.
Sure.
So how do I make peace with him not being around? So, example, right? It hits when you go to your friend's wedding and you see the dad is there in all the functions, fulfilling all the responsibilities, and then you realize, hey, you're never going to have that moment in yours. Or...
Yeah. So here's how you make peace with that. It's a process that you could put under the umbrella of Gyan Yoga. How do we make peace with, he's not here, my friend's father is there at her wedding, giving her away, my father is not there? It's a process of deep introspection and awareness of the package deal of each of our lives. And one way, there's 100 ways of making peace with it. One way is go to a leper's colony. Many of them still exist in India, especially with children. See people without arms or legs. Go to a hospital. See people who can't breathe on their own. And allow yourself as you walk through those places to be aware of I have both my legs. I have both my arms. I can breathe on my own. And they can't. First thing in the morning practice, like as soon as my eyes open, the first thoughts, and it's taken years of training, and it's not 100%, but it's almost there, thankfully. The first thoughts in my mind, thank you, God. And my mind is still kind of too much asleep to be figuring out exactly what I'm thankful for, but over the years, the habit has just become, thank you, God, and my arms go like this, and it's like, we're all still here. Like, thank you, God, for this body. And it's the first thing that I'm aware of every morning. Thank you, God. Like, how many people wake up in the morning? They don't have arms, they don't have legs, or they have them, but they don't function. And then you think, I get to walk out of this bed on my own into a bathroom. My legs work, my eyes work. And then I get to turn on this thing and water comes out. fresh, clean water. I can use it to brush my teeth, wash my face. Drink it in some parts of the world. Like, amazing. You know, it's some huge percentage. It's well over 50%. I think it's like 2/3 of people on earth do not have access to clean drinking water. And out of a tap, like in your house. Oh my God, it must be in the single digits, the percent of people on planet Earth who have that. When we talk about access to clean water, it means there's a hand pump in your village that you can go and pump and fill up a bucket. Or a tanker comes into your village once every 2 days and you can fill up a bucket. But I walk out of my bed and there's a tap I turn on and water comes, like, and just allow yourself to go through your day, noticing how much you have. And yeah, you don't have your dad here. And there are going to be moments in your life where that's going to be so palpable. Sri Chand has them, and they don't see him, they don't approve. Right? I mean, here we are, just a few people gathered together. And what do we see? The different ways that each of us is blessed, and the different ways that each of us is challenged. The different package deals that each of us has been given in this life. But it's so easy to say, oh my God, this is where I got ripped off. Like, her dad is there at her wedding, mine isn't. But real life is about realizing not only where did I get ripped off, but like, oh my God, where have I been so blessed? And fill your life with experiences, people, places, social media feeds, like whatever it is that just reminds you all the time of how blessed you are. Let that be your practice. And are you going to miss your dad at these important moments of your life? Of course. And isn't that beautiful? And when you miss him, be grateful that you've been given such a beautiful heart. Think about how many people in this world pass away every day that nobody misses them, that nobody even notices them, that nobody even knows they've died. How blessed. How blessed he is, how blessed you are. Yeah, beautiful. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening, everyone. A beautiful morning and day to our family joining us online. And I look so forward to seeing you tomorrow. And so much love to you all.
Thank you, Pujya Sadhviji, for being vulnerable with everyone and allowing everyone to be vulnerable.